Hello, everybody, and welcome to the No Name Extras. Actually, let me little.
Fail!
I was turning down the volume on my game just to make sure it wasn't too loud. Anyway, welcome to No Name Extras, where we have extra topics that we wanted to talk about because they happened after our last podcast recording, and we never got a chance to talk about them, and we don't want to wait for the next episode. So, I'm your host, Mr. Moopsy. Next, introduce yourselves, boys, because I never do.
Go for it, Jazz. You're gonna do it second from now on. Set this shit in stone.
Cool. It's your boy, Cosmic Jazz. Freshly off of a tourney that I got kicked on with because of an Aswell bullshit player. But I'm still doing good.
What? You mean Aswell is broken? Impossible!
No.
What? No.
I'm your lovely host, Bakerr. My knee injury is starting to get a lot better. I went to a baby shower today. We have hella amounts of spaghetti, so you niggas about to ball out tonight.
Somebody touched that spaghetti.
Yeah, it's gonna be me.
Yeah, but I guess we can go into topics now.
Yep.
Alright, so for these, we have the PlayStation no-show at E3, Fallout 76 being absolute trash, and Stanley, unfortunately, passing away. So, let's get off with the big one. PlayStation no-show next year. So, this kind of came out of nowhere.
It certainly doesn't help the fact that they announced it like this early on.
Mm-hmm. But, of course, I don't know how much y'all have heard about it, but people have been speculating like crazy why this is a thing. Some people are pointing towards Nintendo and how successful they've been with their directs and all that stuff. Other people are pointing to they're skipping this one because the next big one they're going to do is the PlayStation 5. Then the next one after that is that E3 is kind of not being what it used to be, and I mean, with them leaving, it definitely isn't now. I'm trying to think of what the other rumors were, but y'all have any thoughts on any of those? Well, the ones I put out?
Yeah, man. E3 is probably gonna fall off as the biggest gaming platform.
Oh, absolutely.
The biggest gaming event of all time. I don't know what the people at E3 did to piss these people off. They're just like, yo, we don't fuck with them no more. We don't associate with them nerds no more. I don't know why though.
Well, I do wonder when you bring that up because of remembering what happened this E3, because of how PlayStation was trying something so different than the norm, with basically focusing on what was it, 5 games?
Yeah, it was just the 4.
4 games, yeah. And they were doing that whole transition stuff and whatnot, and maybe E3 wasn't loving that, maybe?
Yeah, just hey, how dare you? How dare you add spice and pizzazz to your presentation?
Well, let me ask you this: do you mean E3 the people, or E3 the host event people?
Well, a little bit of both, but mostly the host, because I mean, I'm sure that couldn't have been cheap on on their space and whatnot, because I'm sure they had to expand for what they were doing, being that they were in a fucking church at one point.
That's probably true, yeah, because there was a part of me that was just assuming that they were doing that it was Sony paying for basically all of that stuff too, so there might be a part of me where I'm just kind of well, they shouldn't get all that angry because Sony's paying for most of the shit, right? But it's a lot of the event stuff is still in the hands of E3 themselves, the people there.
Yeah, which makes them pay for permits for all this stuff that's happening in there, so it's a good chunk out of their change too. It's just okay, we're getting a little bit of chunk out of us that we didn't really want to pay for. And PlayStation's well, screw you, we're not going to be there.
Yeah, there's a part of me that's just kind of I should know that. I used to work for a catering kind of stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, that could be one thing, Eddie, that you just pointed out that might be a possible thing that's going on. We don't have really any exact concrete evidence or anything other than they're not going to be there.
Yeah, they just pretty much just yo, later, nerds.
Exactly. Which is funny because that's one of the bigger nerd ones.
This is kind of like that's kind of hypocritical, don't you think? Shut up.
Hey, who asked you?
Yo, whose man's is this?
Although it was funny because I saw on Twitter where somebody was saying that E3 is dead, and then they had a picture of the actual site, and there was a huge part of the site just nothing but Fortnite. But it's gonna be interesting next year to see what happens, because I mean with the big one we've been talking about recently, that's literally a couple weeks now, Video Game Awards. It's starting to look even better now.
I mean, obviously by comparison, I would say though that it's just kind of like, because this is starting to happen like right now. This decline, because from the sounds of it sounds like me and Eddie were just basically like kind of caught off guard about that.
Mm-hmm.
You have your head deep in like social media, so of course you knew about it. But so it's just kind of like this. The Video Game Awards, they're claiming, oh, we're gonna have like a big fucking thing. Get ready to be like amazed and all this shit. So we're kind of like open to the idea of, but I also do think that it's like to truly declare E3 dead, we are gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see how E3 responds, because I think like from the responses where you can really get like an idea of how dead in the water they really are.
Mm-hmm. It is interesting, being that like with E3 this year, apparently a lot of those conferences that happened like before the event was even really going, like the one that nobody cares about, EA.
Yeah, that's more of EA's fault.
Yeah, and Bethesda were like Bethesda. I mean. Were like before the real event stuff was starting, so people were like wondering what is happening to the event for this kind of stuff to happen. And then with PlayStation going away, it seems like it's getting worse, whatever's happening. But I am interested now to see what will happen next year, now more than ever, to be honest.
Oh yeah, for sure.
With the possible talk of the PlayStation 5, there are multiple rumors swirling around that, being that it will have like backwards compatibility, 4K ridiculousness, all that stuff. And there is another rumor going along with the rumor I think we might have posted about the last podcast, where one of the launch titles might be Bloodborne 2.
Yeah, I believe we did touch on that.
Yeah, so... And then also, I don't know, you might have heard, Moopsy, I don't know if you heard, Eddie, about the Sony... Was it Sony? No, Square. Talking about their next big project is going to be a PlayStation 5 exclusive.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, it was like this thing that just came out of... It was before the Final Fantasy event that just recently happened.
You mean the one they're just like, hey, we have some news for you. We're not doing a lot of things.
Exactly. But yeah, apparently they just started releasing some job application postings about like stuff for that new title, which is apparently going to be PS5 focused. So, I mean, it's all kind of lining up kind of in a way that maybe we're getting the PS5, not exactly soon, but sometime near future.
Like just the announcement.
Yeah.
This is a thing. This is a thing we're doing. Like, hey, you might wanna keep an ear out.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. That's dope.
Which is another reason why a lot of people are believing E3, they're not going to be there, because they want to do their own big event, kind of like a PSX, which wasn't this year. But they're gonna have like a whole nother PSX where it's like, look at our shit.
Oh,
right.
you mean a PSXL? That's what you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah, boy. Also, Grandma's watching Survivor Series.
I was just about to say, is she watching wrestling?
Like, we can all hear them yelling.
So the inaugural fourth member of the podcast, my grandmother.
Hey.
Do we need anybody? We don't need anybody else, man. Screw Venom. Well, Razzle's cool. Screw Venom. We don't need Venom. We don't need Phantom. We don't even need Country. All we need is my grandma.
I am okay with all of this.
I need to tell Country. I need to tell Country this whenever he gets back online. It's like, hey, nigga, you've been replaced. It's like I never even debuted yet. But yeah, no.
That's how fast we replaced you.
Yeah, exactly.
We all talk together and wait. But do y'all have any thoughts on any of this PlayStation stuff?
I would say that it's still a rumor, because I mean, like, we have heard about like lots of times where it's like, you know, rumors are to be taken, like some people take like rumors super seriously to the point that they almost believe it to be like just straight up fact.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've seen how bad that's like freaking gets back at people, to the point that it'll just be like, you know, they start like almost crying over that shit. It's just kind of like, how could they be like, how could they have not announced that? I heard it from a rumor, which was essentially fact. And it's just like, no, you just fucking got that way too ahead of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you're the only person that burned themselves was you, because fucking like you took a rumor and just trusted it to be real.
Mm. And honestly, the only reason I was like super interested in this PlayStation 5 rumor is because there was somebody who literally leaked the announcement of them not being at E3 before it was announced, like the day before. And the second thing they were talking about was like PS5 stuff.
Right.
Right.
Well, let me say this: it's not impossible.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
So, but I think that's the thing we have to take into it. Is like, not necessarily. It's just like, oh my god, this thing is fact. I heard this thing, so therefore it must be true. But instead, just it's not impossible. But so are a lot of things aren't impossible either. So let's just see.
Like, the way I would put it is like, it's cool if it happens. It's okay if it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I think the PS4 can live on for a while.
Oh yeah, I mean, we still got so many titles that were just not recently announced, but still aren't even out yet. Like the four they just showed at E3. We still got a lot of life still left.
I think if they ever get to a point where it's more along the lines of everyone has PS4 Pros,
mm-hmm.
I think that'd be better for business. Or it's just like, man, everybody has PS4 Pros. Yeah, this is good.
Mm-hmm.
Then the PS5, they're not even going to call it a PS5 Pro. They're going to call it a PS5 Deluxe. I don't fucking know.
PS1, just to fuck with Xbox.
So like, it's some super weird spelling too. Like, it's got like a 1 instead of an O, and it's still people still call it like a 1.
No, they're just gonna straight up go completely foreign on it. They're gonna call it a 1, but not like the number 1. It's gonna be a Hispanic dude named 1.
PS1.
You know what? I would get it just for that.
They just get the dude who came up with this. Like, why did you do this? Because fuck Microsoft.
Exactly. That's the amount of petty. That's just like, you know what? I support that.
I feel like, can I play some good games? Because if it can, now that you got my money.
Yeah, that's great. That's great how they kept calling the One X like the strongest gaming console this generation. Yeah, but what are you gonna play on it? Netflix, my nigga? Like, come on. It has no game, and it's like whatever games. Sunset Overdrive is a huge exception. I hear that game is great,
but now it's on PC.
What?
Yeah, they just released. I think it comes out next month or this month at some point. But now it's on PC.
Well, shit. I have no words.
That's the thing. They keep shooting themselves in the foot. It's just like, yeah, you can play this on the Xbox One and the PC. Then why would I get an Xbox One? Cause Xbox One.
It's in the game. What? That's EA.
TV. I don't know. This is weird. Xbox needs to do something. Seriously, this is bad.
No, yeah, because like I would also say that I feel like part of the reason why PlayStation isn't at E3 is because they're just kind of like who do we have to worry about? Nintendo? We can coexist with Nintendo, and we don't really have any competition from Xbox at this point. So it's like, why bother showing up? Let's save some cash and then fucking just keep making our usual shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, because like if they do their own shit, they're not restricted at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, how can I put this? I hate to use this example, but like for example, Ninja wants to be family friendly, but say he plays with somebody that isn't family friendly. Well, if that non-family.
He went there.
I mean, with the controversy that happened, I had to.
Oh yeah, I get you. Especially like that shit. Yeah.
I wasn't ready for that mix-up.
Just went all Aswell on your ass.
He had the infinite meter bug. He just went so. They're like, but it got patched, right? It's patched now.
That's what you'd like to think, but
As well, I don't give a fuck. No, what were you saying, Eddie?
I was just saying, like, that other non-family friendly person can go into their own stream, and they're just like, yeah. They're just like, all right, cool. Oh wait, right, this is an 18+ stream. Fuck dicks, cocks, you know what I mean? Like, it just act well. Not necessarily just curse like a sailor, but more or less just act uninhibited. Like, you know, me playing Call of Duty, someone shoots me in the face, I'm gonna call him a bitch. Like, that's just how it works.
Normal Call of Duty stuff.
Jazz hits me with a dirty mix-up in Soul Calibur. Guess what? You're a fucking. Oh, I was gonna call you a fag, but that's not necessarily respectful. It is like we're not playing right now, so it's like I don't have the intensity or the reason to call you such names. So it's like, well, shit, I can't do it now. But it's like I'll call you a mean name, not because our friendship is ended, but because, well, Nick, I'm trying to fucking win. You're getting in the way of that.
You're just letting off some steam and maybe trying to get into his head a little bit.
Oh man, there's no getting into Jazz's head, man. He giggles. I've explained this several times. He giggles too much.
Yeah, he does.
I try to get into his head. He giggles himself into mine.
It's like the Joker laugh.
The ultimate mind game.
Like it's fucking mind numbing. It's just like, you know about that mix up. Why didn't you block it? I was like, I did. I just fucking forgot, man. The giggling. Like, man, we all get shut down sometimes, man. But that's the point. Just being uninhibited. It's just like, hey, so, you know, even like Move said, just letting off steam sometimes. We need to do it. And if we're inhibited, if we're like, hey, you can't do that here, you know, like fucking Black Panther is like, nah, man, we don't do that here. What? Nah, I'm out.
I love that meme. We don't do that here. No.
But yeah, that's my point.
Right. So I think we hit the PlayStation No E3 stuff pretty well.
Yeah, they're gonna do their own thing. They're gonna fucking flourish.
Yeah, until fucking Xbox can somehow manage to get its fucking its shit together.
Hopefully.
Oh yeah, I know the perfect way they're gonna get their shit together too. Microsoft has developed a partnership with EA.
Oh god.
And then they bought them out and made them go out of business or whatever. They made them go under, just like EA did everyone else.
They went the way of BioWare.
Exactly. You know what? That'd be epic, actually, and ironic.
That's good. That's good. I'm gonna with some fucking gold in here, boys.
I mean, like, you know, what would be like the real mindfuckery if if somehow Microsoft bought out EA and ruined them.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, if they do that, like, make them go under, that would be, like, fucking ironic and epic at the same time.
I'd be like, you know what, I might buy an Xbox just for that.
It's like, I support this.
It's like when King Kong fights Godzilla.
They'll fuck around and be a contender in the next console war and all that shit, too.
Because, like, I would say that at this point, it's like the next console is pretty much Xbox's last chance, isn't it? Because they spent way too much money on the Xbox One.
Oh, hell yeah. Especially since they did the Xbox One X.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
so
it looks
they
so
need
pretty,
some-
but there's no games on it.
But it's the most powerful console! Yeah, but I can't visualize that because there's no games! Well, I guess we can move on to Fallout 76 being trash! Oh my
That's all you,
gosh.
man.
Did you see the video I posted in here?
No, I haven't yet.
Oh
I
my
don't need
gosh.
to.
Well, Eddie knows. He just knows. So, that game. I had, if anybody was been watching me for the Bethesda stream that we did, I automatically had like fears and doubts about 76. And all
I
of that
remember.
shit just came right into fruition.
You are so right. You are so fucking right. Holy shit. Because you're just like, yeah, it's a cool concept, but are they going to do this right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
I
as it
literally
turns
called
out.
it.
Yeah, because it was like, because one of the things was like the Phantom Pain fucking like always on fucking online stuff where people can invade your shit, right?
Yes, and you know what the worst part about that is?
What?
You can literally play by yourself, and you can still get kicked out.
What?
And it's not even because of your internet's bad. It's their servers are bad.
Damn.
It's so bad. There's so many glitches. Some of them are more horrifying than the monsters.
Jesus.
Like, I was over at a friend's house, and we were literally, he got into the power armor. That was like this huge suit of armor, almost like Iron Man like. But like when he did it, it glitched so that you could only see his helmet, and you couldn't see the rest of his body.
Wait, like a floating helmet, or you like just like a dude wearing a mask?
Just a floating helmet. That was it. Like, what are we looking at? And I was already kind of turned off when I heard about what the VAT system was in this game, which, I don't know. Have either one of y'all played Fallout?
No. The most I've been wanting to play is like probably like Fallout 4, since that's the last single player one to come out.
Yeah.
Yep,
But
this
that's
Fallout
about
New Vegas I have on Steam.
Okay, so you know about the VAT system, right?
I know a bit about it, yes.
So basically, to tell Moopsy about it, it basically slows down time. Well, in 4 it slows down time. In 3 it just stops time altogether. But what it does is it allows you to pick certain points for weak points, and your character will hit those points due to the amount of AP you have. So if you have enough for 3 hits, it will do 3 hits worth of damage to vital points. But in this game, instead of doing that, they made it so that it's an auto lock-on system. So it's
So
like,
an aimbot.
yeah, an aimbot, exactly.
What? Yeah, because like I think I know what you're talking about, like that system where it's like it hits the vital points, where it's like you can like you can highlight the section of the monster's body and it'll say like, oh, this is how much like a percentage of how much it's gonna be like to either like take massive or basically lethal damage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I have seen like some like I remember seeing that on a stream.
Yeah, and they just made it an aimbot. It's just like, okay, do it. And then it still kind of works the same way with the AP thing. So you take like 3 shots and then the aimbot's gone.
That's fucking stupid.
It's really dumb.
It's like, oh, that's like imagine if they had that for like fucking Overwatch for Soldier 76. Like you only get 3 bullets and you got an aimbot. Make them count. It's like what? I'm dead.
Hey, good luck. Oh, okay. Like the glitches are absolutely hilarious, and if you get time, you should really check out that video. See, they are hilarious.
All right, for sure.
But my biggest pet peeve of this game is the final monster. And I didn't get to that point. I just watched it on something. Mm-hmm. And so it's basically like a giant death claw with wings, dragon thing, whatever. But
is that one?
It is that one. And
like,
well, go ahead.
Well, because I was gonna say, like, they showed that in like the teasers and shit.
Yeah, they did, and that was just because I was sure whatever.
Because like I remember when you saw it, you were all like, "Yo, what the hell is this monster, man? This is like fucking." You were losing your shit because you're just kind of like, "This is gonna be worse than the actual Death Claws." And now you're telling me it's just kind of like, "Oh, this is like the strongest monster in the game." It's just like that. They already started off with that. That's fucking bad marketing.
Well, see, and the funny thing is, I'm glad you brought that point up because there's something I wanted to bring up about that. So, with the Deathclaw thing, like I was freaking out about it. The first time I ever met a Deathclaw was in Fallout 3. And it was a very interesting random encounter almost. And I didn't know what it was. So I was just like, what is this creature? And it literally kills you in like 2 to 3 hits.
Right.
And it's just like, oh my god, what the hell is this thing? And then they showed it in the Fallout 76 thing that it was like a Deathclaw with wings. So that's why I was like, oh my gosh, what could possibly be worse than this thing? Because there's usually something even worse down the line.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that that's the final boss, technically, it's like, huh?
Also, if I remember correctly, I think if you watch like the TV commercials, they also have that on in the commercials.
Mm. Well, that's not even the worst part, though, that I wanted to get to. So, okay, so that's the final boss thing, all right, whatever. I was like, okay, sure, whatever. It's a giant monster, 4 of you can take it on, whatever. That might be fun. Somebody took I think it's actually in that video I linked. Somebody took a shot-by-shot comparison of that boss and the one in Skyrim, the Blood Dragon. And it is, like, identical to what the boss is like. I'm not kidding, identical. Like, you can't even tell the difference between the boss's attacks.
So it's like, so you're telling me it's like a copy paste essentially of like the
exact copy paste. Exact. Well, not like in look, but in actual everything it does. Exact copy paste.
Dude.
Like they literally it's shot for shot.
Holy shit! And I thought Fortnite Save the World had some problems. So like, goddamn, hearing this shit about 76 just makes me want to play that. Just like, wow, man, I appreciate the effort these guys put into this game. Even though it is in early access and shit, and they're still improving on shit by the day. It's just like, man.
But see, Eddie, and here's the thing: Fortnite is free. This is a AAA game. $60.
Oh, man, people want to talk trash about like Black Ops.
I know, literally.
Yikes.
You see this game, and I'm just thinking, any glitch that somebody brings to me from like the newer games right now, I'm just thinking, look at this game and compare.
This is real garbage.
This is what happens. This is what happens when they port fucking Skyrim to everything.
Literally. Fallout 76, Skyrim.
And you think that crossover would be like super badass? Nope.
Nope.
So yeah, because you know, in my lifelong dream was to play Skyrim on my fucking monitor and my refrigerator in my kitchen. Yeah. They're just like, yo, Skyrim. We're gonna make Skyrim. We're gonna make it great. We're gonna put it on everything. What about this Fallout? What about that Fallout shit, nigga? Yeah.
Sit your ass down. Oh man,
that is something.
Yeah,
that almost makes me like just as cautious for Anthem coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's like, you know, that's its own separate can of worms, honestly.
Oh yeah, another problem I have with the game is that I have like 2 other problems that I just thought I remembered. Okay, so Fallout has normally been a first single player experience. Yeah. So what I'm thinking is, since it's a multiplayer experience, everything's going to be really hard to kill probably unless you have friends and all that stuff. You know, normal stuff when it comes to multiplayer games like that. And they'll scale to whatever people are in it. Not in this game. Everything's fairly pretty simple to kill by yourself, But if you have people with you, all the monsters should run for the hills because they don't stand a chance.
They don't have health scaling by the players that you're.
No, not at all. And you are already kind of a tank. It is really bad.
I mean, like, that kind of defeats the purpose of a multiplayer game if you can solo everything.
Exactly. You can legit solo everything. Like, even some big bosses is just like, oh man, I'm definitely going to need some people for this. Nope. Killed it myself.
I'm sorry
Like,
to hear. You sound so
like,
sad.
There's parts of me where I'm just kind of like, imagine if fucking like Destiny or World of Warcraft fucking did that shit, where it's just like, it's a massive multiplayer game. I soloed this boss by myself. It's like, fuck you.
Exactly. But it was like, I'm sad because I love the Fallout series. I didn't particularly like New Vegas, but I know why people love it as like their favorite. And Fallout 4 I love too, even though it was more of a simpler version of Fallout 3. Here or there, I still loved it. And then this game comes out and just shits all over that.
It's kind of like, well, you guys had all this goodwill stored up, and now you just blew it.
Especially after the fact. I didn't know this until I was randomly watching Angry Joe doing something or whatever, and he was talking about how the engine they're using in this game. I think if you've watched, have y'all watched the Young Yed thing about this?
I didn't watch
No.
Young, yeah, but I watched Shill Up though.
Yeah, like the engine that they're using is a very old engine that they're using for their new games like Elder Scrolls 6 and the StarCraft thing or whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
They're using the same engine instead of like making a new engine or really revamping the engine on this, according to what people are saying when it comes to those games.
Yeah, they've been using the same engine for like since like fucking Fallout for like it's a decade old.
Right.
And they were even saying in an interview, they were like, yeah, why would we make improvements? Why should we make improvements when the modders do a better job of it than we do for free?
Exactly. That right there.
It is kind of like, because it's your job for starters.
Exactly. That should not be your thing, to make other people do your work. We pay you to do the work.
Because I mean, like, what was it? Because I know that there's like it's a thing that happens in the industry because I think this is probably what you meant, Jess. Like for Blizzard, for World of Warcraft, they like for that game, that's literally the same engine that they've been using since Warcraft 3.
But see, it works for that. It's not buggy. Well, as far as I know, you're the one who knows that more than I do. But
it's not like a super horrible engine or anything like that. Like it's still a thing of like, you know, it's kind of like after a while you can only polish it so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like you see, it's not like riddled with bugs. Like practically almost every game they've come out ever since Fallout 3, in my opinion. It's not just like riddled with bugs that modders fix. Like Fallout 4 is a very huge thing about that, where a lot of the stuff that were really big bugs, modders fixed. And it was just like, okay, that's all well and good, but what about the person who's playing on the PS4 and the Xbox One?
Like, what about them?
Exactly. This shouldn't be a thing, and it's already been a problem for a long time. Instead of fixing the problem, you're just making it worse with each game.
Which, I mean, like, part of the thing about it is just like, you know, you're using that game engine for like a long time. You should be able to know how to avoid this kind of crap.
Exactly. Like, it should be one of those like, okay, this is what happened in this game. Let's fix this up so that next game we can literally not do this again. And instead, it's okay. That's a thing. They'll deal with it later.
And I'm sure the modders will patch it up. What about the console players? Man, fuck the console players.
We have console players? No, this 76, it boggles my mind and breaks my heart a little.
You know, seeing shit like this goes down actually really makes me forgive games that the games that were really buggy when the PS4 had first came out, like Battlefield and shit like that, when everybody was still relatively new to the software. And it's just like, yeah, we got these bugs. Yeah, sorry, but then this right? This is unforgivable right here. You can't forgive this shit.
No.
You know what this kind of does for me is it kind of makes me a little bit nervous about Doom, if I'm perfectly honest.
And see, that crossed my mind too, because I was just like, okay, they're making a new kind of Doom thing, which hopefully they're using the same engine for that.
Well, because I mean, like this, it's because it's Doom. It's Doom. So I was like, and if I remember correctly, like I think Bethesda bought out id, so it's like clearly it's going to be the id team working on it. But it is kind of like, okay, but what are the things that like Bethesda's going to be telling id to do in order while they're making Doom Eternal? You know what I mean?
You're gonna tell them to hurry up because we need this money. Now the 76
I know.
is trash.
It's just kind of like they're gonna for some reason think that it's just kind of like, okay, you know what we did in Fallout 76? Do that. Then it's just gonna be like, but this is a totally different game. It's just like there's guns in the game, so it's basically the same fucking game. So do this.
There are guns in there, right? There are demons in there, right? Then do it again. Your game doesn't exactly have demons. Same thing.
They're not humans. And that yelling voice is how they're telling them.
Exactly. Just like that. No, yeah. I don't want to talk about this game anymore because the more I talk about it, the sadder it makes me. So, speaking of sad.
Oh my god. From one sad topic to another.
So, as
Segue of the year right there.
I know, right?
Give this man an award.
So, it was Wednesday, right?
I think it was like Monday. It was Monday. It was Veterans Day. I remember.
Yeah. So this Monday, Veterans Day, as Moopsy just said, our beloved man Stan Lee passed away.
We lost one of the greats.
Yes, we did. And I mean, it was one of those like we knew it was coming, but it still sucked.
Oh hell yeah! Like that, like because it's one of those things. Like you see him and you hear about like how old he was and all that stuff. And I'm talking like prior to his passing, and you're just kind of like, oh man, you know it's gonna happen one of these days. I don't want it to be one of these days, but you know it's gonna happen.
But no, yeah, it's kind of sucky. But I was going to, instead of say being all sad and whatnot, say some of our favorite things that came from his brand. Moopsy, start off. No, I'm just kidding.
The walls, why don't you?
I'm just kidding. I'll start off. But as Moopsy knows, like I've told him a billion times by now, one of my favorite characters of all time and one of my favorite movies of all time is Blade.
Really?
No.
I wonder why.
Just like this is all new to me.
Wait a minute. I don't even know you anymore. Then I've always loved the Blade series, mainly because back when I was a lot younger, I was always into like superhero people, whatever, Static Shock, the Black Power Ranger, etc., etc. But Blade was one of the ones where it was just like he was cool, and he wasn't like really from the hood, I guess you could say. Like he wasn't the stereotypical. Yeah, he beat out the stereotype in a way. And it always kind of drew me to the character because it's just like I wanted to be that guy. And of course, 2 is my favorite with Ron Perlman, awesome person, awesome villain. And also it has a lot of quotable lines from the series, like some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
That's the first one.
Yep. Well, I'm just saying, is the series.
Oh, sorry.
And now I've lost my train of thought. Thank you, Moopsy.
Hey, you're welcome.
So your turn now.
And I'm gonna be yelling at the top of my lungs when you're saying, uh-oh. I mean, like, are you sure you don't want to finish up?
I mean, I can go with the other favorite character of all time.
No,
which
yeah,
is-
because like this is your segment, right? Like at the moment, it's just kind of like, so go ahead.
yeah, which is like Blade's like up there, but he is number 2, and number 1 will always probably be Spider-Man. Because Spider-Man, as I grew older, and all that, it's like Blade is cool, but he's still like superpowered dude, whatever, can do whatever. And Peter Parker was always kind of like the everyday guy with an unusual situation. So he felt like more relatable in that aspect because he was still the kid that got bullied and all this stuff. Not that I got bullied or anything, but he was still a person who's trying to work day to day, trying to make a living, has love, life stuff, and all this other stuff as well. And he always just seemed like a very cool character that if any one person would probably be in a superhero world with superpowers, it probably would be more like him than, say, Tony Stark, who was billionaire playboy philanthropist. I don't know the line.
Yeah, I think it's millionaire playboy philanthropist.
Yeah. And just recently, like, one of my games of the year, Spider-Man just came out. And absolutely love that game. Just play it to swing and stuff. Yeah, it's a lot of superhero stuff. I've always been more of a Marvel person than a DC person anyway, because what I always say with that is Marvel is more of people trying to be gods versus DC, which is gods trying to be people. And I've always loved the struggle of the Marvel side more in that because everybody in Marvel was always more relatable, always more like, I could see if I was in that situation, maybe I would do what they would do too, kind of thing. And it always stemmed from Stan Lee in that aspect too, because he would talk about how, I don't know if y'all recently saw this quote, but like, he would talk about how he would be kind of like, not depressed, but like sad at the fact that he was doing like comic book stuff and whatnot when people were doing these ridiculous things like computers and whatnot.
Oh
and
yeah, no, I've been seeing that that quote spread around recently, especially after like some of the other news stuff relating to him, and it was about like some people were like building bridges or they were going into the medical profession, and I was like ashamed about what I was doing, which was writing comic books. But then, like, he thought, oh, well, I'm creating entertainment, and without entertainment, people would basically, and I'm going to paraphrase here, would go fucking insane. And so he actually like accepted and really enjoyed what he was doing.
Which is actually kind of inspirational for like people, I would say people like us, because we're technically doing entertainment as well. So it's like
under like a technical definition.
Very technical. Well, I mean, you think about it, doing Twitch, doing YouTube, it's still entertainment.
I know. I was just kind of like trying to take the piss out, but anyway.
Yeah, instead you haven't done anything to add to the situation. No.
Because I'm letting you say yours.
No.
Unlikely excuse.
I see what you did there. But no. I did get to meet the guy, and I do have one of my comic books signed by him, which was, well, actually, it was 2 comic books in one, because it was like one of Peter Parker looking down at Gwen at her tombstone, but then on the other side, it was the exact opposite, Gwen looking down at Peter Parker because she was Spider-Gwen in the other universe. And if you put them together, it's like a really cool shot. I actually might post that in post-production on this one. But yeah, so I will always cherish that forever, and I am done.
All right. So then I guess I'll go next, and I'm gonna pause this because it's gonna take a lot of my brain power to remember all this crap.
Nice.
So for me, I'm in the same boat as Jazz, where like my favorite two oh nice,
Mm.
my favorite two franchises for of Stan Lee's were Spider-Man and X-Men. Being a '90s kid, like and being like fucking a good chunk of time away from like the nearest comic book store and being broke. I didn't have like as much chance to read comic books like Jazz here did. And
Yeah, nerd
so,
life.
like the grandma's just kind of like, oh, so Mr. fucking Too Poor to Buy Comic Books is gonna talk about Stan Lee.
Damn, she called you out, son.
I can't do shit because she's an old lady.
You gonna
But
take it?
but goddamn, what the hell's going on over there?
It must be really interesting this time because I don't think she's usually this loud, even for WWE.
Damn.
Survivor
Okay.
Series on. It's pay-per-view.
And
They pull out. They pull out like the special shit at pay-per-views.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, so what was it? And so yeah, and so my two favorite franchises were those, and like of course, so like back in the day, my two favorite heroes were like Wolverine and Spider-Man, and I'm gonna lay it out like pretty like I'm just gonna lay it out where it's just kind of like one of my biggest things about it was like because when I was watching those like series and all that stuff, I wasn't really looking for like subtext. I wasn't really looking for like like for example like all the stuff about like the X-Men are an allegory for like basically like anyone that isn't white or straight or like all of that
Racism.
stuff that fits into like yeah and like I never thought about that as an allegory and so it's like all of that stuff went over my head and I was just like enjoying it for the exciting stories. But one of the things that like Stan Lee has said before, like I've heard in a good chunk of podcasts where he was like the special guest, and he said that it's just kind of like, yeah, the way I would write my stories is there was an underlying layer of that, but like at the main core of it all is I just wanted to tell an exciting story. And something like that, as someone that wants to do something similar, because like. I'm sure, like, I know Jazz knows, like, to high hell, but, I don't know how many people, like, that listen to our podcast do. It's just, like, I want to get into the games industry. And I, like, some... It's like, you've got your surprises and I got mine.
You don't keep secrets here.
By the way, I have an extra secret. What? But anyway,
Damn you.
But and so like I feel like that's one of the things where he says that like it kind of resonates with me as as an adult, since it's like that's something I want to be able to do. I want to be able to make exciting stories where it's just like some people might be able to see it as like as a deep story. Some people might be able to see it as just like an exciting story. But the point is that it's just kind of like there's something really good for everyone. Like there's multiple ways that you can see it. And for me, like Spider-Man was easily my all-time favorite hero, and I would say that as like a writer, like one of the things that like Stan Lee introduced to me is the idea of like the evil version of of a hero, my favorite type of supervillain. So it's like Venom, Virgil, like the characters like that, where it's just kind of like I know people don't really, I know not everyone cares for that. But for me, it's the reason why it's my favorite type of like villain is because it kind of touches on the concept of like what if like say Superman went bad? What if Spider-Man went bad? What if like Wolverine went bad? It's just kind of like you could see like all the kinds of like havoc and destruction that like they could cause. But for me, but then like you see like. And you could see it as like kind of like it's a struggle for them to be as good as the characters are, because it's so easy to fall into like the whole I don't give a shit about humanity, I don't give a shit about fucking like doing the right thing anymore, I can just go berserk. And that's something that I think that like it touches on that with like the whole them being evil thing. and I think it just fits really well. But I would say the biggest reason why I am sad about like the whole Stan Lee passing is because it's while I might not have read as many books written by him as Jazz here has,
Yeah,
yeah, someone said my name. Uh,
I exist.
I would say the thing that saddens me most is the fact that he's gone, but that's because like through listening to him through all these other podcasts, through listening to his life story, I'm more sad that he himself is gone. I at some point I guess you could say it's like I became more of a fan of the person.
Mm-hmm.
Because like if you listen to like all his like the podcast where he talks about like I used to work at this newspaper, I fucking was making like comic books, and I thought like you know what, I fucking hate writing these, and how his wife fucking said, if you're gonna leave anyway, why not just fucking write the kinds of stories that you want. And then like about how like as time went on and like the stories he ended up writing as more popular, and to the point that like the Marvel became as big as it is now. It's just kind of like I'm sad I never got a chance to see the guy.
phone.
What the fuck? and you said I was disruptive.
Someone's calling me.
How pretentious do you have to be to have your own intro as your ringtone?
Damn!
Super pretentious.
I am just that good. God damn it.
No, blame Marcy for that one.
Damn you, Marcy.
You tell that nerd I said hello.
Will do.
But because then like that's a lot of the stuff that I would say that like that was more like my childhood, just like the Spider-Man and X-Men stuff. And then as I got older, I feel like I've been thanks to the movies and thanks to like his works, he's introduced me to like a whole different world of entertainment and characters I never would have thought to bother reading. Like for example, if say you like I was like it was me like as like a 7-year-old, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It would just be like, okay, so who are your favorite Marvel characters? Oh, I just like Spider-Man and X-Men. But then and it's just kind of like if you told me like, well, what about Captain America? What about Iron Man? What about like Magneto or some shit like that? Or not Magneto, but like because I want to use a specific other character.
Like who?
Well, because I kind of want to make like a call back to a specific thing. Doctor Doom. There we go. Like, what about like these characters? I feel like Jess knows what I'm gonna mention after I said that. It's like what do you know about these characters? And it'll be like, oh, I just know them as like as fighters from Marvel superheroes. Outside of that, I don't give a shit.
Part of it's like Marvel superheroes.
Yeah, the one I said Doctor Doom is just kind of like, I see. But so it's just kind of like that's what I would know them from, and that's all I would care about. Because I hadn't seen like the show. I hadn't seen the shows. I never read the books. But then it's just like because he was such a great writer, he influenced all these other people. So now to the point where it's just kind of like because the movies came out, and I'm just kind of like I can't like it's just like I have copies of like Iron Man movies in my house. I love like the fucking what I would like the Captain America trilogy. It's just kind of like I'm looking forward to the next Avengers, even though it's just kind of like outside of like all the other comic books and forms of media I ingested. I would really know the Avengers from like 3 games or so.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And so it's just kind of like it like even though he had no direct influence on like a lot of those specific projects, even the stuff that's like I'm most nostalgic for. He was still that like good of an influencer to literally give me like something like to look up to look forward to, and find a way to like entertain and inspire people to do a bunch of stuff. Even if it's just like because I almost want to say that it's hard for me to make an argument for me being inspired by Stan Lee because I never read his stories.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's just like the characters he created, they got repurposed and retold in different mediums, and in methods, so that it's just like by the end of it, it's just kind of like I still feel like I was inspired by Stan Lee in some form or another by his characters. And then when I got older and got like interested in podcasts, the guy himself had an influence.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of like, even if it wasn't just like from his comics, the dude still was actually like a pretty big influence, like in general.
Mm-hmm.
That's about all I got.
All right, Eddie, anything?
I don't have much to add. I wasn't much of a fan of neither DC nor Marvel at the time. The only reason I got into DC was because there were some friends that I met playing DCUO, otherwise known as Baby's first MMO.
Word.
But after I got out of all of that, I still wasn't like Moops. I still wasn't like reading. I still wasn't like reading mangas or reading anything that he made or anything like that at all. I was doing nothing. I was doing nothing of the sort.
Stan Lee, manga writer.
I was like, I didn't know if I heard you right, so I was like, I'm doing
Did I say manga writer? Man, cut that out.
That's staying all the way in.
Yeah, I messed that one up. But regardless of which, when I looked him up and I noticed all the things that he's done, I'm like, man, this guy's pretty cool. I didn't know how he. It wasn't until after he died that I had known about how he portrayed the character as being black or gay or anything like that. It's just that it's just the important things that I knew. It's just like, you know what, he writes comic books. He's awesome. All right, that's it. Boom, cool. Like, there we go. He's one of the good ones. We can't lose him. Then we lost him. Like, fuck. All right, great.
Word.
How are we gonna explain this to the kids?
We won't. Too sad.
But even then, it's sad. It's sad that such a positive person is gone. Just as anyone who's done things to help people, just the day that they go, even though it's gonna happen to the rest of us, just the day that it is, just like, oh, like damn. A lot of people were saddened. Anna especially was saddened, Jazz. Like, she was like probably crying, I think.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. There was a lot of people who were.
Yeah, boy. But that's all I have to add.
Yeah, because I mean, like, I would say that it's just kind of like because people don't necessarily have to like interact with you in order for them to actually have an influence on you, and even to get you to cry when they pass, because it'll be like that shit will, like, a lot of times if it's a matter of like how much of an effect that they have on you. And if it's a big enough effect, then it'll be like, yeah, you will obviously cry after when they're gone, because it's just kind of like they meant so much to you.
Mm-hmm.
And like, because I did want to ask Jess, like, so that Spider-Man cover that you posted on the chat, what, like, that was like the one thing that you really wanted Stan Lee to sign, or did you have something else in mind?
Like, that one, because it's always been my favorite cover. It's like, it says so much in just a single bit of 2 pages. Not even 2 pages, just the cover. It says so much. And it's just like, I really wanted that right there. Because Stan Lee's so much.
Right, makes sense.
Yeah.
Because, like, the reason I ask is because for me, it's, I had a chance to meet the guy, but I never did. And I mean, I'd be lying if I said I'm not gonna regret never taking the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And like, because I did have also something that I wanted him to sign, which, like, I would have, like, fucking treasured the absolute shit out of that even more than I already do.
Mm-hmm.
So like, because what I wanted him to sign, what I would have wanted him to sign is my copy of the Neversoft game of Spider-Man.
Ooh, nice.
Like I would have had him sign that because like not only obviously Spider-Man, but also one of the things about it is that it's just kind of like he is also the narrator for that game. For those of you who don't know, and like I played the absolute shit out of that game because it was like I even remember that like for my history with it, it was I have a friend or I had a friend who like I used to hang out with constantly. He had the game and he showed it to me, and then I was just kind of like, can I borrow it? And he said sure. I played it for a good while, and after I gave it back, I was just kind of like I was so dead set on fucking getting that game. And when I eventually did get it, it's just kind of like I played it over and over and over and over. And to this day, honestly, it's still, despite how hella dated the game is,
Ooh, super
that
dated.
game to oh yeah, absolutely, it fucking like has Final Fantasy VII graphics. But it's like despite how dated that game is, that's still to me like a gold standard Spider-Man game. Almost to the point that it's just kind of like, it's still pretty much #1, even though Spider-Man 2018 is out. It's still pretty much my #1 Spider-Man game.
Which is fine.
And it's just kind of like, it's fine if you don't like quality. It's like, fuck you.
You just be better be like, I didn't post it. I don't know about that one, Chief.
But it's like I'm saying, like that game is basically like my #1 standard for Spider-Man games. Because if nothing else, they did do some of they did like get creative with some parts. Like oh my god, I wish there was another boss like Monster Rock, man. And so, and it's just kind of like I'm saying, like he was a big time narrator for that game, and it's just kind of like I would have absolutely loved if he actually, like, if I ever got a chance to get him to sign it.
That would have been lit for sure.
But I mean, like, so let me ask you this, Eddie, because you said you weren't really like aware of of the guy.
That's
but
right.
is like, would you have him sign anything?
Unfortunately not. Not like even before he left, even before he ascended into godhood, because that's what we're calling it.
Because I mean, like, well, we know he did, so.
Yeah, exactly. No, not really. I wouldn't have him sign anything. And that's just because of the lack of because I had a lack of interest in those things. Not necessarily because of like I tried it out and it's just like, wow, this doesn't seem like it was for me. I just didn't. Growing up, I didn't have the opportunities to do so, so I didn't.
Well, here's my question then.
What's up?
If given the chance, would you have taken a photo with him?
Knowing who he is, yeah, I would have.
Mainly,
It's just I can't.
Well, go ahead. Well, I would say mainly the reason I asked is because there was recently, going into weird talk now. I can't think of the actual guy's name. He's some celebrity, funny dude or whatever. But he was actually getting mad at people posting pictures about that, with them at Stan Lee, because he was saying that doing that on Twitter doesn't make it about Stan Lee, it's making it about yourself.
Oh, Armie Hammer.
Armie Hammer, that's his name. But yeah, it was just like one of those things where he deleted the tweet, of course, and got a shitstorm for it. But it was just one of those things like, it made me think like, who of all, like, people like you who don't really do comic stuff and whatnot, with you people, kind of people like you do pictures like that.
Right. It's like if I knew who Stan Lee was and had the opportunity to take a picture with him, would I? And the answer would be yes.
Continue, Moopsy. I knew you had something to say.
Well, no, because I was gonna say, because like I know he said that like some stuff about like, oh, I like he didn't have as much of an interest, and I'd be like, I mean, it makes sense, like, because like Stan Lee did have like a pretty big impact for you and me, because like, because of like how he entertained us and how his writing had like I'd say like a pretty decent effect on both of us. Whereas you have someone like Eddie, who is just kind of like, he's aware, he's aware now, especially. but also he just wasn't like as into some of the stuff as we are. So it's kind of like, of course, his passing is like a lesser effect to him,
Mm-hmm.
if at all, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, yeah, it makes sense why.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say this though: the moment Toriyama goes, you're not gonna see me for like a week.
I thought you would have more of a thing on what's his name's voice actor.
Who?
Goku's.
Oh, I mean, both of them. Because like the thing is that is like the Goku from my childhood, like the dude still like looks pretty young. I gotta see how old he is. He's like in his 40s or 50s or some shit like that. But like he's actually pretty young.
That should be
But,
like
like,
90 years old.
Wait,
Well,
hold
no.
on. You're talking about the Japanese voice actor for Goku, aren't you, Jazz?
Well, because I was gonna say, well, because it's like yeah, like when Jazz, the one that Jazz is talking about, he's talking about the Japanese one. Yeah, I like when I what I meant is like for her when she passes, that she's gonna be like another 5-day trip. But like. Oh yeah, because I guess I haven't told Eddie this, or I haven't said this on stream either.
I was mostly
It's,
talking about the Spanish one, but
yeah, because I was gonna literally say my Goku is the one that does the Spanish dub for Dragon Ball,
Cool.
and because like he's the one that I literally grew up with. He's like the one that had like the biggest influence on me out of any character. Part of like the reason why like I say that like he's my favorite, like it's like that's my favorite like show version, all of that stuff of all time.
Right.
And like the dude that's the Spanish voice actor for Goku, like he's like he look like if you see his pictures and everything, it's just like the dude's actually way like he's actually pretty young.
Right. Okay.
And so it's just kind of like, yeah, when Nozawa passes, I'm just gonna fucking like curl up into a ball and hide somewhere for like about a week. But it's just kind of like for my childhood Goku. I still, unless he like something super tragic happens for him, I'm still good with him for a while.
Knock on wood.
Oh yeah.
All of these things seem like very fair things. Yeah.
So I think that's it for us on Mr. Lee.
Yep.
Do you have any side stuff?
No, not really.
My job has actually been going pretty okay, even though I still don't know how to work the register.
Nice.
Don't worry, you'll learn it over time.
Well, the thing is that it's not entirely that I just don't know how to work the register. It's that like they haven't like there's like some kind of like sign-in code that you have to use when you're gonna use it, and they still haven't told me what it is.
They haven't told you yours?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What? That's like.
I'm a little confused myself. That's day one type shit.
Like I did
that's
my
like
training.
That's like orientation day type shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I did my training, but like they never really told me.
What kind of shit? I almost want to talk to your boss. What the fuck are you doing?
Like, say, fam, what the fuck is your problem?
And I've some of my shifts were like opening nights for some games, and it's just kind of like you'd be surprised at how lucky I was at like fucking getting by on that.
What, you mean just being likable and enjoying video games?
Well, because like, I mean, because I've been open to them about like my previous work experience, not involving cash registers. So
like, yo, I don't know what I'm doing here. Explain it, please. Hey, man, don't worry about that. Then they don't tell you shit.
Exactly. Just leave you. Walk away.
Like, don't worry, man. You know what the buttons do. I'm fairly certain to buy. Like, right.
Where'd you go?
Like, all right, and I'm alone. Okay, this day is wonderful.
I'm in danger.
Yeah, essentially.
Well, I mean, like the good thing is that they never left me by myself, so it's just kind of like they've like I've just been coasting honestly, and it's just kind of like
you're one of the lucky ones.
I am extremely lucky. Any other job, I'd be like, we missed out on so many sales. You're fired.
Nice.
Yeah, they would blame you for being in the store by yourself. Like it's your fault you're in the store by yourself to begin with. What were you doing alone? Like, bitch,
You'd be like, you guys scheduled me at this hour. Fucking.
And whose fault was that? What the?
Not mine. I can tell you that much.
Unfortunate things. It's a lot of bad things.
I like how I just mentioned something super casual, and it's just like it became a whole topic of conversation.
That boggles my mind. They still haven't done that yet. That's literally orientation stuff.
I told my boss that, and he was just kind of like super shocked about that. And this was like at the end of the day.
It didn't help.
That's the thing, you told him, and he still didn't do anything.
Well, because I told him at the end of the day, at the end of the shift, and it was like closing time.
Did they fix it at least?
I'm
This
gonna
nigga
get like.
said, oh my
So no.
Because I was gonna say like we're gonna go in depth into it on Wednesday when my shift is.
That shouldn't be a thing. That should have been something nipped in the bud beforehand. Like, that's not a problem. That's not even a fucking. That's not supposed to be a problem. That's a problem.
I mean, like, what can I say? I've just been getting like super lucky.
That's not luck.
It's actually especially with what's its name coming up soon, Black Friday. That would be a heaping mess. Quick, use the register.
About that.
I don't know about that one, Chief.
No, that's actually kind of funny.
That's unfortunate.
Mistakes were made.
And it's shit like that almost makes me glad that I'm blacklisted from retail, cause like good, like I won't have to come back to this shit again. Hey, who would have thought being falsely blacklisted from a whole working genre, a whole genre of work is just like, you know what? I can live with this.
Yeah, at least I don't have to put up with this bullshit.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because, like, I guess, and then another thing I want to say too is that because it's like, I absolutely get like the whole problem about it. Don't get me wrong, but it's just kind of like the way it played out, I really have like no point of contention to against them, you know.
Sneak 100.
Because it's like I don't want to get them in trouble, and I don't want bad shit to happen. I'm just because it's just kind of like, yeah, it's a mistake. Obviously, don't get me wrong, especially for me being a seasonal hire, but it's also just kind of like I've been able to like also patch it together to the point that it's just kind of like it doesn't like we haven't really fucked up. Not like I haven't been affecting our sales in any way, shape, or form.
But it even goes further than that, though. Like, that's a real big fuck up.
No, that's just pure incompetence on people that's in charge.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, because I don't want to get them in trouble.
But honestly, with that, here comes slight boss jazz.
Dude, I've been on Boss Eddie for a while now. Like, go ahead.
Like, it's not even a matter of it being a problem for like them being like, oh, I don't want to get them in trouble. They're already in trouble regardless of the fact. Because the second it pops up, like if you didn't say anything and that just happens,
some shit goes down. It's just like, well, why didn't you do this? I don't know how. What?
Like that manager's ass is grass.
So like, what do you mean you don't know how to do this? Like, weren't you trained for it? No. It's like in that moment, you know that one music clip from like Kill Bill. Like that shit is playing in that dude's head. Like just like, yo, somebody's about to die today.
Somebody's ass is grass at that very moment.
So like, what the fuck?
I mean, like, I absolutely get all of that. Like I say, this, like, I don't want to get them in trouble. It's just kind of like, it's funny. It's like, it's way serious and stuff. I get that, and for my end, it's just kind of like, it's just kind of a funny story.
Somebody gonna give you the Goichi look, like nigga.
But I mean, like, we're gonna work on it. We're gonna fix it. My next day's Wednesday, and then I have like a shift on Friday from like 6 to closing.
Mm-hmm.
What time do you close?
I think it's like, let me double check because I think it's like from 5 to 9.
Nice.
Yeah, that's not that bad.
Yeah, like I'm saying, it's that's another thing about it too, where it's because like if they had me Black Friday like in the morning, I'd be absolutely freaking out because I'd be like, oh shit, I gotta fucking take care of like the heaviest traffic. This is like end of the day stuff where it's like all the shopping's done and whatever is left is like basically like leftovers. So that's why I'm just kind of like not too worried about it. Because if it was like I'm saying, if it was like from opening to like fucking like 12 o'clock or some shit like that, then I would absolutely be freaking out. I've been to like the mall on Black Friday even in the afternoon like last year. Because like my dad wanted to buy some shit, and it's just kind of like even then I was I would have been like, oh, I'm pissing myself. But it's just kind of like, oh no, it's basically like the end of the day stuff that's gonna be pretty like empty.
That's when they get crazier. The freaks come out at night.
The freaks most definitely do come out at night.
Yeah, especially like that place where I've been, because like that's also where I worked for my Walmart job, and I saw some shit.
I'm just saying, man. You've never really lived. Do you have somebody proposition you for sex so you can get like a bottle of bleach? I'm not saying that this is happening.
Put in that disclaimer.
Put a little note. This didn't happen, really. Weak.
It's like this happened to someone.
Like, look. I'm not saying that it happened to me. I'm just saying that I wish it did. All right.
No.
For me, it would be depends on who's proposing.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, of course, that always plays a part.
Because it would be like I wouldn't instantly say oh, something happened to your grandma. I wouldn't say that like I would accept if it was like some tranny or something like that.
Hey, now I'll have you know some of them look great.
Horny Tuesday, man. It's all everything goes.
Like, what you mean?
Just when's the internet because of that.
Like, it's 2018. We have to be respecting women, even the dudes that want to be women. We will help them be the prettiest women. Then we will respect them as such, man. It's like, I think Daria might hate me for this, but it's almost like if you invest into, I guess, a dude who wants to transition into a woman, right? It's almost like a Build-A-Bitch workshop.
Daria's gonna hate you for that one.
That or she'll love me for the rest of her life. Either way. Like, either way, it's lit. All right?
That's funny.
The money for like all the surgeries and shit too. Oh, nah.
Oh man, that's funny.
This is taking a turn for the weird.
I guess a couple of closing things. Moopsy, how's Red Dead?
It's pretty fun. I have also like, if I didn't get my shit together today, I wouldn't be prepared for this test tomorrow.
Nice.
But I mean, like, it's definitely fun. I haven't there's some shit I haven't gotten a chance to see yet, but like, I did have one of those kind of like I guess you could call them RPG moments, where it's like I advanced a shit ton and then I fucked up, so I went back, but it turns out I didn't save in a while, so I lost like a shit ton of progress.
Oof.
But I mean, it's also just kind of like I'm also thinking like worth it.
Nice.
And it's just kind of like I'm taking it like super casual. I did post on my social medias if I should play this or Persona 5, and since it's like I've been playing this for like a good chunk, I'm guessing it's not going to be this. But then the thing about it is, it's kind of like I've heard that you could get sued by playing Persona 5 on stream.
Is that still on?
I don't know. That's what I was about to ask just now.
Because I thought that got lifted.
I mean, I hope so, but I guess I'm gonna have to do some research if you don't know.
I thought it got lifted. I don't know.
But I mean, in general, that's about all I got.
Edward. Edward.
Oh, he said his CPU froze.
Ah. Well, hopefully he'll come back soon. I can do our little daily Blizzard Activision meltdown report. They are now currently down 19% in stocks.
God damn!
Yeah.
So it's like, are they trying to put out the like? Is it like them using chemicals to put out a grease fire, or is this like? So like they're still trying to like put out the fire, but they're just making it worse.
Absolutely. They have not gone back on anything they have said, and they've actually added more stuff. Like, I know you've heard about them creating mobile stuff for all their IPs pretty much now. But now, apparently, there's a photo that recently just leaked about them talking about microtransactions. It's literally getting worse as time goes along. And then also with the Division, not the Division, although that didn't sell quite too well either. Destiny 2 not doing well, along with Forsaken. It's getting worse as time goes along, and then the investors being mad that Black Ops didn't sell as much as they wanted. It's just a dumpster fire after dumpster fire after dumpster fire.
Can I also say something about the Destiny IP? Apparently, there's a rumor going around that there's gonna be that like they're gonna announce Destiny 3 soon.
Ooh, please don't.
And that it's just gonna have like a lot of like big shot claims of like, oh, it's gonna be like a mostly catering to the hardcore. It's gonna have all of this stuff, all of that stuff.
So now is not the time. You save that shit. Save that shit for later. Especially now that you basically just released Forsaken, and you still have DLC coming for 2. Just save that shit.
Yeah, they're not really handling it all that great.
Yeah, I really hope that's just a rumor. Like, because that's one thing they do not need right now is, oh, by the way, we're working on the next game too. So all you people who love Destiny 2, sucks for you.
Which, I mean, like, yeah, that's one thing, but it's also just kind of like, there's not a lot of people that, like, they absolutely love Destiny 2, so.
Well, see, here's the thing. The people who still do, they have their monies, and they probably have their support still. By doing this is one good way to cut them off.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially with all the money they literally have just sunken into, even if they got the free version of Destiny 2. Jeez. I don't even want to think about the people who started from the beginning, and then now at Forsaken now. Ooh, that money sink. But yeah, it's just... It's literally a dumpster fire that just keeps adding to the flames, and they're not doing anything really to stop that.
I mean, because like one thing, because I'm not saying that I'm not gonna try to like help them or anything like that, but I will say that I do feel like in Activision Blizzard, it is kind of like there are still two they are still kind of act as two separate companies.
Mm-hmm.
That said, Activision and Blizzard are still fucking up royal.
Oh, absolutely. Like, they need Blizzard to kind of step up because they're already fucking up on their own. And now Blizzard's fucking up with them. Because their sales quarter, I would hate to see the tax on their sales quarter at the end of this year. Because it is not good.
Yeah, I can't imagine it. Like, things are going to go well for them.
Let's say at this point, if they don't change something soon, Uncle Sam's gonna tear their ass up. You're gonna have Telltale 2.
Oh god. Although, well,
it won't be them closing, but I can guarantee you it's gonna be a lot of more smaller projects.
a lot more what?
Smaller projects.
Oh yeah. Because like the thing about it is, it's just like, for a while now, obviously we've wanted fucking Activision to just burn, but
Oh, they're burning now.
but it's like, because I don't entirely want Blizzard to go away. That's the one thing.
Well, that's too damn bad.
So yeah, it's like, cause like I don't want them to, but them doing this to themselves is clearly just their own damn fault.
Mm-hmm. It's like with me, EA, and BioWare.
It's like you're gonna have to because you guys are fucking up.
I hate that this is happening, but it has to happen. But I guess we were technically at the end anyway. So
Yeah. Then we got like a sidetracked with a whole bunch of crazy stories.
while I'm doing my plug out, did you see my reaction video for the new girl?
For Dead or Alive?
Yeah.
No, I haven't, cause that happened. Like you released that today, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm saying, I was getting some studying done, and so like pretty much my eyes have been either looking at a book or they've been looking at Red Dead. So.
Yeah, well, basically, you don't really need to watch it. What I was saying was, during that video, I was talking about doing possibly a discussion video with you on things we liked about DOA 5 we want to return, versus the things that we don't want to return in DOA for DLC 6.
Okay.
As well as possible characters, possible storylines, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Which would be down the line, but yeah, I was talking about possibly doing a video like that, and if you were down for it.
Yeah, I'm down for it.
Word. So yeah, you heard it first.
Confirmation.
But I guess we could do our plugs. I guess I'll do Eddie's stuff, which is Bakerr-TTV for his Twitch, Bakerr with 2 R's for his YouTube. And I think it's Bakerr TTV for his Twitch, not Twitch, Twitter. No, don't add me on that. But yeah, check him out. He does COD stuff. And well, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'd troll you with an ad, but I'm driving a horse, so.
Nice. But he has been saying that he might be doing some Soul Calibur punishment guides, so that might be fun. Like he's been doing his Tekken guides. So
punishment guides for who?
Soul Calibur 6. So that might be fun to watch. And yeah, check him out. As for myself, you can find me at All Things Cosmo Jazz. That's up for my PSN, which I can't wait to change next year.
Oh well, I mean, like, because are you still willing to do that, even though like you might lose some shit?
At this point, pretty much, because I'm looking, because honestly, I think they've come out with a solution for like USB stuff and whatnot. And if that's the case, I'm just gonna do that and then change my stuff. And if that's the case, I lose some stuff. By all means, who cares at this point?
Yeah, because it might be like a thing of like you just need to get like an external. Well, because I know you'd probably keep if you did an external hard drive, you could probably save a lot of your PlayStation 4 stuff, but you would also lose a lot of your PlayStation. You could also lose a lot of your PlayStation 3 stuff.
Nah, I could care less about that.
I care. That's why I'm not gonna do it. But anyway,
I care, sir. I care. But no, because I haven't played on my PS3 in years. Mainly just because there's just been no reason for it. Especially since any game I've wanted to play on the PS3, they put it out on PS4. So
makes sense.
But yeah, so as I've just was talking with Moopsy about, I did the reaction video for the new Techromancer, who I thought was interesting. Wasn't 100% excited about her, but I definitely will be trying her when she comes out. And I'm also going to be doing some more Soul Calibur stuff, including the one I just did with making every style in the game so far waifu. Yeah. Also, I got a copyright claim on that using free royalty music. Try to boggle that around your head.
Okay, so they copyrighted you for who?
For using music that they submitted.
But I mean, like, for what character?
Oh no, like for music that was in it.
No, yeah, but I mean, like, what character did you say that it, like you were showing in the video?
Oh no, it wasn't for the character. It was for the music that's in the video.
I know, but what character was the trailer for? That's all I want to know.
Oh, for Dead or Alive?
Yeah.
Oh, the Techromancer, Nico.
Oh, so like you had that, and then you had copyright-free music, and then they still slammed you on that.
Oh no, for my not for that video, for the video where I showed all the waifus and stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah. Hey, Eddie, welcome back. I did some plugs for you.
Thanks, man.
But no, like I was just recently telling him that that video got copyright claimed like 4 times. Using music that they suggested I use. That was like, this is free music. Use it. Okay. Copyright claimed. What the? But,
another really good way of guessing is if you look in their description at the bottom. If anything else is claimed, it just sounds too similar to something else.
Exactly. Which was like the guitar one I have at the end. It sounds, somebody was using it in a song that they copyrighted that literally has like 6 views. I was just like, really? We're doing this?
Apparently so.
But I shall have more Soul Calibur content as well as Resident Evil content, which I've decided to do just a day on this Friday, Black Friday, the entire day since I'm off, nothing but Resident Evil. Nothing but Resident Evil.
Is it going to be like a marathon, or is it
a complete marathon? Just nothing but Resident Evil.
just like, hey, Jazz, do you want to? Is that Resident Evil? No, get the fuck.
Don't look.
I don't fuck with you.
You just yeet that bitch into the ground.
Yeah, that's my catch up. Just nothing but Resident Evil. Wherever I land after I'm done is where I'm going to be starting next time I do it.
Cool. Awesome, man.
And I think that's it for me. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving, you dumb nerds.
Happy Turkey Day, and I'm going to do my final plugs before anyone forgets.
I totally forgot.
Yeah, I knew it. That's why I said, like, if anyone forgets. Follow me at mrmoopsy and all my social medias down below. That's my controller.
Oh, no.
And yeah, I'm gonna be trying to stream some Street Fighter 5, and I might not get a chance to stream this holiday weekend because that means my brother's gonna come here, and he's just basically gonna be annoying and take up all my time. So, good luck with that.
Nice.
Family.
Oh, Eddie, you might want to do your Twitter thing because I couldn't remember what your handle was on Twitter.
Oh, my handle on Twitter is Bakerr_TTV.
So I was right.
Same as Twitch. Not the same as YouTube, unfortunately.
But yeah, I pointed that out too.
Yeah, but at least they're all somewhat linked together, so everything should be back in line. I'm still doing Tekken content. I might do some COD stuff on the side. When I'm done with Tekken, I'm gonna move over to Soul Calibur guides.
I was right again.
I announced this though.
I know. I'm just saying that I announced it too, but on the podcast first.
Taking your credit.
I leaked the information. I'm a leaker now, guys. No, I'm just saying.
Oh, and I'm about to be like Sony and yeet myself.
I mean, I guess I should say this though, because it's like since Smash is almost gonna be coming out soon, I think it's gonna be like I'm gonna start to like slowly like. Not because I don't like it, but I'm gonna start to like distance myself from Soul Calibur.
Yeah, because you want to smash, man.
Yeah, you gotta get into that smash. I gotta smash, man.
I would have had a Switch.
Just look into the distance, like what the fuck?
Hot take: Smash is a party game.
Yeah.
Boom.
God damn it!
I mean, I can't add fuel to the fire if I don't let you.
You're a bitch. Why must you deny me the things that I want so much?
Because it's funny.
Fucking hate you, man. I hate you like the women I asked to sit on my face and then they say no.
Context.
Oh yeah, context. I've asked Daria to sit on my face before. She said
All right.
no. Because she's gay. It's horseshit.
Jay is just
You
another
know,
word
we
for
respect
happy.
women.
Yeah, it's just another word. Yeah, I'm trying to be gay too. That's it.
I'm so glad you went for that.
Remember, you know me. There's almost anything I'd say just for a laugh.
Man. But no, I guess we're out.
Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna move some stuff around and keep streaming because I'm gonna be streaming Devil May Cry 3. But other than that, it's like the no-name parts. Yeah, that's all. That's done.
Word.
Cool.
Love all you peoples.
Yep, same here. Love you guys.
Thank you all for.